Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are watching another really spectacular chess game played in 1996 between two grandmasters, Valentin Arbakov from Russia and Viktor Kupreicik from Belarus. Both really strong players, and this game was played in 1996 in Germany as a part of one strong tournament. And what is interesting about this game is that this game started with really good positional play and then ended in a truly masterful sacrifice. You will see in the game. You will not be disappointed, so please stay tuned. You will enjoy this game really much. So the game opened with d4 for Valentin Arbakov. His opponent replied with knight to f6. We have c4 and g6, so we are getting closer to King's Indian defense. We have knight to c3, and after bishop to g7 and e4, we are in King's Indian defense normal variation. d6 a standard move in King's Indian. We have h3, so to potentially stop this bishop g4 pin when knight goes on f3. We have castle for black. We have bishop to g5 for white, and we have c6 on the board simply to prepare d5 in the near future. We have knight to f3 developing move, knight b to d7 for black, and bishop to e2. White is also getting ready for a castle. We have a6 on the board with the idea to push for b5. After castle, this is what happens. So we have b5 on the board, c takes b5, a takes on b5, and we have e5 right now, pushing this pawn and attacking this knight. In the game, knight to e8 was played, which is not a mistake, but after e5 there was another possibility to pick up this pawn, and now after knight to e8, for example, queen to d4, and after h6 and bishop e3, queen to c7 is how this game would continue usually, but in our game, after e5, knight to e8 was played. Rook goes on e1. We have d takes on e5, d takes on e5, and knight to c7. Now this knight needs to find a better spot for him. Bishop to f1, retreating move to open up this file for this e rook. We have knight goes on e6 right now, attacking this bishop. White wants to save his bishop, and he plays bishop to h4. We have a rook to e8, a3 for white, a queen goes on b6, and we have b4 on the board now to completely stop any kind of advancement here. If black wants to, he can try and break the position with c5, but for now white wants black black to do that. A knight d to f8 with the idea to put this rook on the e file, since this rook is really stuck here. Bishop goes on g3 simply to overprotect this pawn. We have rook to d8, queen goes on c1 after being attacked. We have h6 right now to simply stop any kind of knight entrance here. h4 on the board with the idea to push for h5. We have knight to c7, bishop to f4. Right now this pawn is attacked, king goes on h7, and right now we have a bishop to e3. A slow move simply to put back in case of something like g5 happens, and also you attack the queen here, so this bishop is safer here. Queen goes on b7, knight goes on e4, putting another piece in the game and potentially creating an attack on this black king. Bishop to f5, black now attacks this knight. We have knight to g3, counter-attacking this bishop. Of course, black doesn't want to give up this bishop, and he plays a bishop to e6. We have h5 on the board. Right now, picking up this pawn is not good for black, and he goes knight to d5. He's inviting white to pick up this pawn if he wants to, and if not, he will pick up this bishop. We have firstly h takes on g6, f takes on g6, and bishop to d2. Really important move. You don't want to trade pieces when you are attacking your opponent's king, so bishop stays in the game. Queen goes on d7, potentially creating threat on this d file, and also this queen is always ready to protect on e8 if needed. We have rook to e4 with the idea to go for rook to h4 and pressure this pawn, and right now we have bishop to g4 move, which seems like a completely decent move, blocking this rook and also getting ready to pick up this knight, but this is actually a mistake. If you wish, you can pause the video and find a brilliant positional sacrifice that white made, and if you don't find it, I will of course show you. In the game, brilliant move that white found and started this amazing combination is actually e6. Brilliant sacrifice, which now cuts off these two pieces, this queen and this bishop. This queen is attacked, this bishop is hanging, but also by opening this diagonal, this rook on a1 is hanging for white as well. The better move after bishop to g4 was to actually go for h5, and now, for example, after rook to h4, bishop to g4 is perfectly fine for black. White is slightly better. But after bishop to g4, we have e6 on the board, and there is nothing you can do. Either you will give up this bishop, which is definitely not good, or you will lose your queen. So you have to make a decision. In the game, bishop takes on e6 was played, bishop takes on h6, and right now bishop takes on a1, which is a huge positional mistake and a huge blunder here. I will now show you after bishop to h6 what would happen. For example, if bishop takes on h6 was played, rook h4 would follow, and now after king to g7, because this bishop cannot be defended, we have a queen picking up on h6, and after king f7, knight e5 with a fork, and you will lose your queen, and we did the game. So we have bishop taking on h6, and after that bishop picks up on a1, a huge mistake. Now white simply calmly picks up this bishop, and right now this bishop is hanging, but right now the first threat is queen to g7 mate. Game continued with knight to f6. After queen to a1, if let's say you pick up this bishop, then rook h4 is immediate checkmate. So you cannot pick up this bishop, you have to block this diagonal, and knight f6 is what does that. We have bishop picking up on f8, rook picks up on f8, and it seems like black is completely fine right now. Most of the pieces are getting traded, and he is doing just fine with the exchange up. But another brilliant sacrifice, rook picks up on e6. What's the idea? If, of course, queen picks up on e6, this is not a possibility, because knight to g5 fork and you lose your queen. So after rook picks up on e6, white completely returned his material, and he's actually a pawn up right now with a much better position here. Computer gives this almost 5 points of advantage. In the game, king g8 was played. Game continued with queen to b1, right now aiming at this pawn here on b6. Queen picks up on e6 was played in the game. After queen to b1, let's say king to g7 is tried. We have knight to e5 attacking the queen and attacking this pawn. And let's say now after queen to e8, we continue with the bishop to d3. And after king to g8, we have bishop picking up on g6. And after king to d8, queen to d8, queen c1, with the idea to immediately go on h6 square, and the game is pretty much done. So after queen to b1, we have queen picks up on e6, and after this, queen picks up on g6 with a check. King goes on h8. Queen h6 check. King goes on g8. We have a knight to g5. Right now this knight is kind of immobilized here. He has to protect the all sorts of threats of checkmate. Queen to d5 was played. Queen also has to stay nearby. We have knight to h5. Of course, you cannot pick up this knight because queen h7 will be checkmate. We have a rook to f7 to protect the 7th rank. And right now queen to g6 again check. And after king to f8 and knight to f4, this is on the move 40, where black decided to resign. The position is completely lost for black, and I will now show you why. So let's say you want to keep your queen. Of course you want to keep your queen, and you want to keep it on this long diagonal that protects this rook. So let's say you play queen to b3. Then knight f goes on e6 with a check, and let's say now you play king to e8. We have queen picks up on f7 with a check, and after king to d7, queen c5 a check, and you will lose your queen. With queen picks up on b3. After queen to f4, computer actually recommends giving up your queen and playing a knight to h7. The position is that lost that after knight g goes on e6 with a check, this king retreats, and right now you can pick up this queen here, and after c takes on d5, you even cannot pick up this knight because bishop picks up on b5 is a checkmate. So this is how this brilliant game ended, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to leave a comment, like, and share this video with other people who enjoy chess, because this word of mouth referrals really work and really can help with the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you want to improve at chess, you have a link of the chess community I'm a part of. So if you are serious about improving chess, no matter where you are, except if you are a grandmaster, you are more than welcome to check it out. You will not regret it, I'm sure. And so this was all, guys. Please let me know your thoughts and your comments about this amazing game. I really think that this is truly a wonderful performance, and all started with the amazing e6 move, amazing sacrifice, giving up your rooks for brilliant attack on the opponent's king, which ended in almost checkmating him. Of course, black had to give up a lot of material in order to survive, and this is simply a game over. Thank you so much one more time, and we will see each other on the next day. Bye bye.